Hi, I'm Bruno Ferreira and today's video is going to be about practicing the tremolo technique. Whether you are just starting or even if you already know how to play it, but you want to improve or do some technique maintenance, the tremolo exercises that I present in this video might be for you. This lesson builds up in difficulty, so advanced students bear with me in the beginning or use the timestamps in the description below to jump right into the challenging stuff. The function of a tremolo is no more than a technique employed to sing the melody. As you know, the guitar is an instrument that doesn't resonate as long as a singer or wind instrument, therefore guitarists utilize this technique to keep the melody flowing through the music work. The tremolo technique might seem at first a difficult technique to master, so we tend to look at it in a technical point of view. But I like to think of a tremolo piece as a pavlova cake, with two different layers, with a crunchy part underneath and a creamy top, which is what you actually see, or in the case of a tremolo piece, what you actually listen to, the music. In regards to the interpretation of a tremolo piece, I already made a video that you can find here, but today we are focusing on the technical part of the tremolo, the crunchy part. First thing I'd like to mention, especially if you're starting, is that tremolo only sounds fluent if you play relaxed. There's no way around it. You definitely want to avoid this bouncing movement of your right hand when you play tremolo, otherwise you will destroy its fluency and you will get tired very quickly. If you are a beginner, you could start by playing the sequence of fingers A, M, I, ring finger, middle finger and index finger on the first three strings. 3 notes at a time. A, M, I. If you know this technique already, but you think you play too tense or you move your hand too much, you can also use this every day as a warm-up exercise to relearn how to play relaxed and steady. After this, you could play a bass note on the beat right before the tremolo notes. It can be an open string or a scale if you want to make it more interesting, for example. Thumb, A, M, I, thumb. And whenever you learn a new piece, a new tremolo piece or a new exercise, it's important to keep all the notes equal and without accents. The tempo in the beginning is not very important. Actually, you should play slowly so you can control everything that you are doing with your right hand and the way it sounds like. If you want to, you can dedicate some time practicing your tremolo using different tremolo patterns, rhythms or articulation so you can improve different departments of your technique. A good tremolo is not only the production of a nice melody, but, as I mentioned in the first part of this lesson, it's also the balance between the accompaniment and the tremolo. In order to practice this with a clear objective, I divide it in two parts. One that focuses on the thumb, and the other one that pays more attention to the notes produced by the tremolo. So, let's start with the thumb. I made a few simple exercises dedicated to learn to control the volume of the bass line. The idea is to play the tremolo very softly on one of the open strings. We can start with the first string, while you focus on the dynamics of the thumb. So the first exercise would go. You can repeat this exercise with I, M or A finger, but always softly. First with one note, and then you can start adding notes to increase its difficulty. But remember, while you do the bass line, the tremolo has to be soft and steady. Now with two notes, with I and M finger. And then with three notes, I, M, I, just as Anna Vidovic does. So you can practice all combinations with I, A, M, I, A. All the exercises presented in this lesson will be available along with demonstration videos for patrons that would like to support this channel and get full access to all premium lessons that are made for UniGuitar's website. You could also apply the previous exercise on a tremolo piece. Pick up a fragment where the bass line is more relevant and utilize all the combinations that I presented earlier. In the beginning, this fragment should not be very difficult, and especially that stays on the same position, so you can focus on the volume of your thumb. very good exercise to improve control over your thumb is to alternate the bass note and the tremolo note using a thumb. But the challenge here is to keep that tremolo note that you play with thumb as soft as the other fingers. It's really good to improve the control over the thumb. Now let's focus on the actual tremolo voice. These fingers have a little bit more work to it. If you want to play a nice and fluent tremolo, you have to work on stability, regularity, control and balance as well. To improve stability, I recommend trying an exercise that I call the hinge tremolo, which consists in a tremolo that, as the name suggests, works as a hinge. It opens and closes your hand throughout the exercise. Normally, when moving from one string to another, we might accidentally hit the wrong string or play two strings at the same time. This exercise helps correcting that. Basically, you keep playing the same note with thumb, while these fingers move around the other strings, and vice versa. So the idea here is to keep moving up and down without changing too much the position of your hand. The other possibility is actually easier. These fingers stay on one string while the thumb moves up and down. You could start by playing an E minor chord just to make it sound right and practice it as the first exercise I presented. Free hand, relax it, without accents and stable. Mind that all these exercises are a bit exaggerated to exploit the weaknesses of our technique. You probably won't play any tremolos that require you to do these kind of movements, but it's good to be in good shape, and this could be one way to achieve it. To work on regularity, the idea is to avoid the stumbling tremolo. For that, we could use rhythm variations, which is a method that is very efficient with improving the tremolo's steadiness. There are countless possibilities for this department, but I will present you a guide that might simplify your practice in case you want to explore different rhythms and finger combinations. First, pick up a finger sequence. Choose the amount of notes you want per burst. Could be 2 notes, a triplet, and so on. And if it's an even amount of notes, change the starting finger every group of notes. The thumb finger could be playing a bass string or the same string as a tremolo. With this method, you already have dozens of combinations and you can use a metronome for a steadier tempo. Finally, to improve the balance of the tremolo, I like to add articulation to the exercise mentioned earlier. It can be with staccato, legato or a mix of both. Or on a tremolo piece. Using accents on one specific finger can be challenging to practice with, but it gives you total individual control on each of your fingers. For example, accent on the I finger. Now on the M finger. And finally on the A finger. This should be enough for you to work on every department of the tremolo technique. Like I said before, the possibilities are endless, and what I presented is just a fraction of what you can do to improve your tremolo. I hope you will find some use in these exercises. Let me know in the comment section below what else do you do if you already have a routine, or if you're just starting, I would like to know if this was helpful for you. I'm looking forward to the next video and to see you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.